It's Professor Monty. We're looking at the principle of zero products, also known as the multiplication property of zero. Okay, essentially what it says, if two things are multiplied together and the product is zero, one of the numbers had to be zero. So if I have a times b equals zero, either a was equal to zero or b was equal to zero. There's no other choice. If I multiply two non-zero numbers together, I'm never going to get zero. Okay, so I can use that to solve equations. This is our first step in solving equations. So if I have 5x multiplied by x plus 4, and I know the product, when I know when I'm multiplying together I get 0, either this first piece had to be 0, or the second piece had to be 0. That's the only way this is going to be true. So now I just solve each of these individually. So here, for instance, I want to get x by itself, so I divide by 5. 0 divided by 5 is still 0. Well, that's one of my answers. So if x was 0, this statement is true. And then here, I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. I get x equals negative 4. Those are my two answers. So if x was 0 or x was negative 4, this equation is going to be true. It's not true for any other values of x. All right, let's go over here. So we said a times b. Well, if I have more than two things multiplied together, as long as the product is 0, it still holds. All of the factors have to be equal to 0. So I say, well, either 3 was equal to 0, 2x plus 1 was equal to 0, or x minus 6 was equal to 0. Now, first of all, we know 3 can't equal 0. It's not the same as this 5x. Well, if x is 0, then 5x is 0. Well, 3 is never 0, so that's not going to give us a solution. The 2x plus 1, though, let's solve that. We'll subtract 1 from each side. 2x equals negative 1, divide by 2, x equals negative 1/2. That's a possible answer. And then over here, we just add 6. We'll put it down here so they line up. X equals 6. Again, we get two possible answers. Either x was negative 1/2 or x was 6. Those are my two different answers, and those are the only possible answers.